I'm leaving him as soon as the money clears." The voice stopped me in my tracks. I hadn't even knocked yet. I was just standing outside the bridal suite with a water bottle in one hand and a folded napkin in the other. I wasn't meant to hear anything. I wasn't even supposed to be there. Candela had texted earlier saying she needed a moment to breathe. But now her voice rang out sharp and amused, sliding through the crack in the door like it was practiced. "Worked in Baton Rouge too," she added, laughing lightly. "Kyle's easy." I didn't move. Inside, I heard the shuffle of satin, the clink of makeup brushes, and her voice bright and polished, like she was making a sales pitch. There was another voice, two-depper, male, faint, coming from a phone on speaker. I couldn't make out his words, but hers were clear as glass. "I'll stay just long enough to wrap up the trust. Then I'm done." Baby or no baby? Slowly, carefully, I turned. My hand tightened on the napkin. I walked down the hallway, past the floral arch I had helped arrange just that morning. I kept walking until I reached the side door that opened to the garden. There was no wind, no music yet. Just early light shining through the ivy. My chest felt hollow, but my steps were steady. I didn't cry. Not when I passed the table covered with Kyle's childhood photos. The one where he proudly held up a frog with muddy hands. Not when I saw the seating chart, where Candela had placed me at table 6, next to a man I'd never met. Not even when I pulled out my phone and hovered over the contact saved as Attorney M. Halden. I pressed call, no answer. I left a message. "Hi, Margaret. I need you to pause the transfer. The Durton trust all of it." I ended the call and slid the phone back into my purse. My hands were shaking now, but not from fear, from certainty. I had just heard a confession. I wasn't about to let it become a wedding vow. I didn't tell Kyle, not that morning. Not as he adjusted his tie in the mirror and asked if it looked crooked. Not as he smiled and said, Candela had picked the fabric for the nursery curtains. Not even when he whispered, "I can't wait to feel the baby kick." He looked so sure. I nodded, smoothing the edge of his collar like I had when he was 8. "Nervous about picture day?" "You look perfect," I said. My voice didn't shake. I sat through breakfast with his groomsmen, laughed politely at their jokes, and refilled the coffee pot when someone forgot. When Candela texted Kyle a photo of her veil, he lit up like someone had handed him the moon. I studied his face in that moment, the joy, the wonder, the complete devotion. I swallowed it down, back. Upstairs, I slipped into the hallway bathroom and locked the door. That was where I let my hands tremble. Candela thought I was the quiet one, the helper, the woman who knew when to leave a room. She didn't know what it takes to raise a child alone on night shifts and double shifts on weekends. She didn't know what it feels like to sit beside a hospital bed while machines breathe for your baby. Boy, knowing you'd sell your own lungs if it meant he could live. She didn't know that quiet doesn't mean weak. It means watchful, strategic, patient. I pulled out my phone and opened the messages with Margaret Halden. All transfers from the trust immediately. Do not finalize anything with Candela Vero's name. I hit send. Then I deleted the thread outside. The venue buzzed with life florists fixing centerpieces, waiters pushing silver carts along gravel paths, bridesmaids laughing in the distance. But I stood steady in my silence. I wasn't going to scream. I was going to plan. I didn't sleep that night. I sat at my desk with the lamp low and the manila folder Candela had given me the week before. She'd said it was just some documents to review things her financial planner suggested to speed along paperwork before the baby arrived. It wasn't the first time I'd been asked to hand over control, but it was the first time it came wrapped in charm and fancy monogrammed envelopes. I opened my laptop and logged into the secure email with Dana American, old nursing friend who now worked in a Baton Rouge family law firm. She was careful, private, and owed me favors. Her message came at 2:41 a.m. Found 2 marriages under the name Candela Marie Vero. One ended after 9 months. The man went bankrupt soon after. The other ended in a messy divorce. She got the condo. I reread it twice. No mention of children, no steady jobs. Just a trail of short marriages and big losses for someone else. I turned back to the papers on my desk. The words were polished but sneaky. If I signed them, and Kyle added his name. Later, as Candela kept suggesting most of the trust would be considered joint property. Easy to split, easy to vanish. I didn't shred them. I didn't burn them. Sealed them in an envelope and locked them in the bottom desk drawer. I slid the key behind the locket in my jewelry box. A locket I hadn't worn in years. At 3:15, I finally turned off the lamp. Kyle still believed her, still smiled when she brushed lint off his jacket and called. Him, her, rock dot, but patterns don't lie. People don't change just because they put on white dot by morning. I had already printed the contact of a private investigator. I wasn't chasing drama. I was proving what I already knew. Dinner was supposed to be casual. It's just family, close friends, trays of warm food. Kyle pulled out a chair for Candela. She sat with one hand on her belly, the other spinning her glass. Everyone asked about the baby. Candela had answers ready, still craving peaches, still can't stand garlic. I swear he's already picky. She was magnetic. I'll give her that. She knew when to laugh, when to look at Kyle like he was her whole world. It was convincing until a WASN single quotes. One of Kyle's coworkers leaned in. Any ideas for names? Candela grinned. Oh, we've tossed a few around. I like Micah. Silas likes it too. Silence. Not long, just a second. But enough. Kyle laughed. You mean I like it? Candela blinked. Her smile stayed, but her hand froze mid-gesture. Right? She said quickly. Sorry, baby brain. It's a moment past for everyone else. But not for me. That name Silas stuck like a shard of glass.